thanks for joining us on the morning news on New Frontiers Television, live from our Nigerian studios. I am Precious Amayo. Now take our first story from Nigeria. Barely 20 days after the judgment of an Osogbo High Court allowing Muslim female students in the state public schools to wear hijab, the state chapter of the Christian Association of Nigeria (CAN) yesterday filed a stay of execution on the June 3rd judgment. This was disclosed in Osogbo by the state CAN chairman, Reverend Elisha Ogunia, during a solidarity visit to the state CAN headquarters by Southwest leaders of the association. CAN representatives from Ogun, Oyo, Ekiti, and Ondo State stormed the state, expressing their support for the state Christians on the issue of controversial hijab judgment delivered by Justice Saka Oyedeji Falola, and their readiness to fight against any form of alleged Islamization by Governor Rauf Aregbesola. In his address, West CAN, Reverend Alfred Aro, who spoke on behalf of the association's zonal chairman, Archbishop Magnus Atilade, warned that any attempt by Muslim students to wear hijab to schools after the appeal has been filed would make CAN to okay all forms of garments to be worn to schools in the state. He noted that Falola's judgment negated the spirit of secularism of the nation, and it violates the religious rights of the original owner of the missionary schools, as agreed upon when the schools were taken over by the then government of Oyo State in 1975. The zonal CAN also expressed their concern on ban of morning devotion and assemblies in schools in some states in the country, saying the action must be rescinded. Stay with us. I have the Punch newspaper with me, and I have the Guardian newspaper with me this morning. Looking at the headlines on the Punch newspaper, just below the nameplate, the major headline reads, Arms Cash, EFCC set to invite Fayoshe's wife. The writers say, probe APC campaign funding, Ekiti Governor tells Commission. Omishore got 1.3 billion naira from Dasuki for Oshunpo, says agency. And you find a report on pages 3 and 8 of the Punch newspaper. Above the nameplate, last-minute efforts to stop Saraki deputy's trial fails. Buhari running an autocratic government, PDP senators, says. You find the report on pages 2 and 7. DSS arrest former army chief Hejirika, and that report is on page 8. Militants kidnap 5 expatriates, kill driver in Calabar, and that report is on page 5 of the Punch newspaper. Essay testifies in private. Court bars journalist, and you find that report on page 7. Hijab, Osun CAN files a stay of execution, leaders meet, and that's on page 8 of the Punch newspaper. Juma Ibrahim, UBA disagree on 120 billion naira aviation fund, and that's on page 21 of the Punch newspaper. And there is an insert picture here of an accident in Lagos, and it says good luck as 3 die in Lagos Ibadan road tanker fire. The pictures here, very pictures, quite sad event in Lagos. And moving on to the editorial and viewpoint columns of the Guardian newspaper. The editorial here says paralysis grips power sector. And you want to find out, what that means. Well, I think it's already an experience, so you already know that experience, but you want to read up on that. It's on page 16 of the Punch newspaper. On viewpoint, Aregbesola, Osun parents and a legacy of chaos. That's by Neo Adodoko. Implications of new forex regime for the stock market. That's by Uche Iwalike. Lagos destroys jetties. Ogun River dries up. That's by Greg Odogu. The imperatives of managing a presidential brand. That's by Benga X Adebija. Thanks for staying with us on AM Live, and now we're moving straight to our topic of the day. Today, the United Kingdom is taking a historic vote on whether to remain a part of the European Union or to exit. Now, to exit the economic and political bloc in a scenario called the Brexit. And as today, we're looking at the Brexit, the impact. Our guest today is Mr. Ayodele Ogundele. He's the CEO of Davis Hotel here in Ibadan. Thanks for joining us on the show this morning.
Thank you very much.
Now, the United, I'm going to start straight from the European Union itself. The European Union has been tested, in a lot of scenarios this period, especially with the financial crisis in Greece, even in Spain, and also you have the unprecedented movement of refugees and migrants into Europe. You've also had issues of terrorist attacks in Europe. Is the European Union still as effective and attractive, even as it used to be when it first started?
Yes, it still is, because there's always greater success in large numbers. Okay, but the problem with the European Union is, like anything else where you're mixing different cultures, different levels of social development, different levels of economic development, when you're mixing it up under the same guidance and same rules, it creates problems. And each country, don't forget, each country still has its own internal rules and laws and regulations and policies. So for instance, you mentioned Greece. Greece has laws, labor laws, for instance, that guides the ages of retirement. That in Greece you have 42-year-old people that are retired and are collecting pensions for the rest of their lives. And Greece is in the Mediterranean, they live the longest, okay, in the world as far as records are concerned. So you can imagine a 42-year-old man, okay, who is already collecting pension and is going to collect pension for the next 40 years, 50 years. Do you understand? And you want this thing to be collectively paid for by people in Germany that are working till the age of 70. Do you understand? There's bound to be problems. There's bound to be problems. But they're teething problems, and the European Union, okay, I think is here to stay. I don't think the vote today is going to say exit. I think they're going to stay.
Three of the reasons given for Brexit is the fact that migration numbers are increasing. It stood at 185,000 in 2015. The Euro fees, which is alleged to be 350 million pounds weekly, which amounts to about 18.5 billion pounds every year, and then the acceptance or the acceptance of Turkey, which is not even done yet, but the likely acceptance of Turkey into the European Union, and the reasons Brexit is leaving out. The reason for leaving, is it proportionate to the benefits that might arise if Britain gets to leave European Union?
Yes, you see, the reasons for leaving, the reasons that the exit group, let's leave group, okay, are putting forward, they're actually quite justifiable. Do you understand? Because you see, the UK has a welfare system that was set up immediately after the Second World War, okay? Now, set up to last for how long was not stipulated, but it was set up in such a way that in the UK, if you're a young lady and you're pregnant and you have a baby, you don't need to know the father. The government is bound by law to find you a house, to pay you a certain amount, to pay you a certain amount for the baby, to pay you a certain amount for baby feeding. At the end of the day, if you have 2-3 babies in succession over 5 years, you might not necessarily have to work for the rest of your life, because you are earning more by having 3 babies, do you understand, than you would be earning if you are going out to work maybe in a bakery. Do you understand? So everybody knows this. So your guys in Albania, they want to go and enjoy that. Your guys in Lithuania, anybody, if the door is open tomorrow, Turkish people will rush into the UK. I mean, when you get into the UK, you see how easy it is, and a lot of everybody from around the world have taken advantage of this. Okay, the Nigerians, we took advantage of it. Okay, you have large groups of Nigerians in the UK that are dependent on the UK government, living in council flats, going to government schools, accessing. UK, you have the national health system. Okay, where you don't have to pay for anything. In America, if you're ill and an ambulance takes you to hospital, that's where the payment or non-payment stops. The moment they start treating you, okay, you better have insurance because you are going to pay. In the UK, it is free. If you want to take out your tooth in the UK, as long as you're ready to join the queue, it is free. Do you understand? So people know this, and they want to come and enjoy those things. So this is why the level of migration to the UK has been very high. The level of welfareism in the UK is also very high.
So much for coming on the show. And that's much for AM Live this morning. We're monitoring the referendum for you in UK, and we'll give you details as it goes, and just let you know how it is going in the United Kingdom, and then we'll give you the final result at the end of the day. But thanks for joining us on AM Live. I am Precious Amayo. Enjoy the rest of your day.